Welcome back to the Licensed Game Hole. Today in the hole, we're continuing Licensed GBA Quest with Bratz Babyz, released in 2006, developed by Barking Lizards Technologies and published by THQ. This is a minigame collection, and we were dreading playing this. Barking Lizards also developed Bratz the Movie, which may be the worst GBA game we've played so far. Not least because it doesn't have anything to do with the actual Bratz movie. But we can't let the Bratz win, so into the hole we go once again. Bratz Babyz is a spin-off line of the main Bratz line, where the girls aren't teenage girls, but cows! No, wait, damn it, it's Babyz. Who could have seen that one coming? The Babyz line was launched in 2004, with each toy of the original line including a pet, a diaper bag purse, and a bottle on a chain. The line only lasted until 2008, when Mattel successfully sued GBA Entertainment as the Bratz had been created by an employee working at Mattel at the time. This hilarious quote from The Guardian notes that not only was the fate of the lines unknown, but Yasmin had chosen to ignore the issues to talk about her neighbor's horse. Shame, Yasmin. Shame. GBA successfully countersued Mattel in 2011, with proof that most of the Bratz development had been done at GBA, but Bratz Babyz has never returned. For our research, we watched the Bratz Babyz animated movie, released in 2006 and animated by SD Entertainment, who's also made various other animated straight-to-video trash, and a documentary about the music of Stephen Sondheim? Sure, why not? The movie's pretty bad, and mostly feels like it was meant as a lead-in to a TV series that never happened. Besides some interesting use of its animation budget, there's not really anything to recommend. If you're over the age of 6, you are definitely too old to be watching it. Fortuitously, though, this was exactly what we needed to watch before playing this, as the game is actually based on it, and released 2 months after the movie came out. Features the same plot of Bully Dwayne stealing Nora Anita's beloved pet dog Snappy, leading the girls to escape from their mall daycare to get money to buy him back. The minigames are all based on moments that happen in the movie. Strangely, the box doesn't indicate this at all, even using the designs of the babies from the original toy line instead of their movie designs. Seems like a real missed marketing opportunity. Before we get much further into our review, we need to talk about the music in this game. There are only 3 songs, the longest one of which is a whopping 39 seconds. Those are some pitifully short loops. This is also some extreme farting the notes out. Less a song than a desperate attempt to produce something similar to music. We like the BGM in our videos to be the music from the game, but we don't want this video to be torture to get through. By our estimation, you've already listened to this loop at least 5 times by now, so the rest of this video is going to be music from the Hyper Light Drifter soundtrack. Ah, that's better. Let's start by talking about the overall package. Bratz Babyz features no story mode and no multiplayer. It records any high scores you get on a game, but only the highest score, so there's no leaderboards either. It definitely feels like story and multiplayer were supposed to be done at some point during development. Each minigame starts with a little text contextualizing why the babies are doing what they're doing, and several minigames seem built for a second player, which we'll point out along the way. There's also an emphasis on collecting blings in several games, which you don't actually collect, it's just your score. Clearly, Barking Lizards never made it far enough into development to tie everything together. This is a bare-bones game. You select your minigame, or you watch the credits. So let's talk about the minigames. Babyz has a total of 14 minigames. We went counterclockwise around them all, so we'll feature the games in the order we played them. Our first game is Snack Attack, a Frogger-type game where you pick a pet and run between pedestrians as you pick up snacks. It's fine. With no objective and no way to die, 2 minutes is too much time, but it works and amused us for maybe a quarter of the time. Ring for Blings is a balancing minigame, where you play a stack of brats as they steal money from payphone change slots. Man, even for 2006, that feels like kind of a dated concept. Are the Bratz gonna send a fax next? Anyways, balancing minigames suck, and this one sucks even more. It's near impossible to actually make good progress towards your next change slot. Gets old within seconds. Fashion Skate has Chloe competing with Cameron in a virtual skateboarding match, a scene straight from the movie. But instead of cool VR skateboarding, you have to mash A repeatedly and pick up the pieces of your pet's outfit. Whoever completes their outfit first wins. It's an interesting idea instead of just do skates for tricks, but also we wish it had been skates for tricks. Exactly how you match together your pet's outfit isn't really explained, so we just picked up every outfit piece we came across. Meanwhile, Cameron's pet isn't even shown, but he can still win, so how does the game decide that? This was our first game where we quit before a win or a loss, when our wrist started hurting from mashing A. Confusing and painful all around. Balloonatics has your chosen brat making balloon animals by pressing the indicated buttons. This kind of minigame can be found in any basic Mario Party clone, but hey, it works and entertained us for a bit. Fountain of Youth has the brats getting coins from the fountain, or inner tubing down a river, who's to say really. We got some definite Mario RPG flashbacks here. The mechanics here are fun. You press L and R to turn and can throw your pet out, which is hilarious. The really weird part here is the AI-controlled brat. This is one of those times where the game shows that there was clearly meant to be a multiplayer mode, and we gotta say, it hurts here. Not that the game's particularly fun, but imagine if you and a friend were both non-stop launching your pets into the water. That would have been a real knee slapper. Hop and Seek, or Dead by Daylight Simulator, has you playing as Snappy while Nita looks for you. You have to hide behind objects, which is extremely fidgety, and then before the game exposes you, run to another object. This barely works, but it's very funny, so we enjoyed it. Castle Mazenstein. Wait, is that a reference to the original Castle Wolfenstein? And Bratz Babyz? For who? Well, us, apparently. This is a maze stealth game where you have to escape from Stay All Day in Playland, dodging the Bratz Boys and Miss Calabash along the way. Despite the fact that you have a sneak button, this doesn't really seem to do anything. We had it held down and Miss Calabash still picked us up. In fact, in our first play, we got stuck as Miss Calabash just kept picking us all up and the AI was too simple to know how to get out of it. Our second play featured a different maze where we didn't even see Miss Calabash. Also, with all 4 Bratz active, this had to be one of the games considered for a multiplayer mode. This game fascinates us for several reasons, mostly in that it's the least functional of these minigames. Everything else at least works. This one feels unfinished. Snappy's Wild Ride is one of the 2 best games in this collection, putting you again in control of Snappy running away from Nita, this time in the mall. You have to evade obstacles and brats that will hold you down, collect bones for boosts, and you can even hop on a stroller to get rolling. Having someone who can grab you at any moment is exciting, with you savoring every boost of speed you can get to buy you a few more seconds of freedom. It's simple, but it captures the feeling of being a dog on the run from its human, and it gets a lot of props for that. Karaoke Time is a rhythm game. It's fine. There's only one song with one pattern to do, but if you were a kid who had never seen a rhythm game before, this would blow your mind. Wash-A-Pooch is the other best game, ironically capturing an entirely opposite feeling than Wild Ride. You help the brats in their dog cleaning business, dropping items on dirty dogs. Each dog has to be cleaned in the order of sponge, bucket, towel, with treats that make them freeze. If you wash them in the wrong order, they run off. Again, it's very simple, but simple's good here. Having to get the order and timing down is the right level of challenge. This feels like something you could spend hours on trying to get the highest possible score. Sweet Necklace Treat has Chloe making candy necklaces. The orders come in and you have to match them. Compared to Wash-A-Pooch, this game of dropping things in the right order is a huge pain in the ass. There needs to be some sort of garbage button. You go through too many pieces you don't need. The orders also start piling up way too fast. We tried this one again, and it's almost impossible for us to keep going for more than a couple minutes. Extreme Makeover is a memory minigame. Jillian shows you a style, and you have to copy that style onto Nora. It sounds easy, except what you're picking doesn't exactly match what Jillian was wearing. She might wear a shirt with a heart, and you're meant to pick a different shirt with a heart. There's also several look-alike choices to mess you up, like hairstyles that look almost identical. And the judging is slow. We couldn't see most kids playing this one more than once. It's just frustrating. We saved the worst for last, as the last game is Top Trumps. You play against the AI, as you both have decks of cards featuring characters from the game. You draw a card, pick a stat on the card, and then compare against the other player to see who has the highest stat. The winner takes the opponent's card. This is just war with an extra pointless step. You're only ever going to pick the highest stat, right? Maybe if you knew the cards better and what your opponent has, some strategy could theoretically form, but we just picked the highest stat over and over and won. This game hurts the most from the lack of a multiplayer mode. Who would ever want to play war against an AI? War is something to play while you chat, not an actual challenge. We were fascinated by these mechanics, though. It's immediately clear this is more work than anybody would have ever put into a system just for a single minigame in a Bratz game. Turns out that Top Trumps is an actual card game which was selling Bratz versions at the time. Top Trumps still exists today, although we checked, no more Bratz. Looking at some of the actual sets, it's clear part of the appeal is educational, with some actual info on each card. But without the trivia and without another player, this sucks. Overall, Bratz Babyz is mostly okay. Most of our praise here goes towards the adaptation. The graphics look as good as the movie looks. The character designs give us exactly the same level of revulsion they did there, which is normally not a compliment, but it shows the work Barking Lizards put into translating the movie into a game. While the lack of a story mode sucks, the game still follows the movie's plot well, and pretty much every notable moment has been turned into a minigame. Probably the biggest omission is Dwayne. Presumably, he was going to show up in the cutscenes that didn't make it, but we would have also loved a minigame where you play a horde of babies attacking Dwayne. The minigames themselves are acceptable. There were some highs, but they're no higher than a Neopets Flash game. Meanwhile, the lows just feel like a waste of time. Overall, we give these babies a 4 for adaptation and a 2 for fun. The lack of features here really hurts any idea of longevity, but if you're a Bratz fan or just want to get a few laughs, Bratz Babyz can easily entertain you for an hour. Thank you for watching. Remember that a like means a lot to us, and if you want to join the Discord or Patreon, links are in the description. We'll see you next time for more licensed nonsense. Bye everybody!